local High Point restaurant makes headlines after their food ranks as some of the best in the nation. I talked to the owner and found out what makes this restaurant so special.
Plus, a small business has served as the High Point community's quickest way to find new things to do and new places to try in the city. I spoke with the brains behind the operation on how this all began and how this has helped the community.
We take a close look at the hard work and preparation of the High Point University baseball team. More on the Panthers' high expectations for the start of their 2023 season that will begin this weekend.
I'm Cassandra Mishak.
I'm Riley Mannion.
I'm Emma Rawls.
I'm Reese Allen.
I'm Elise Kobe.
And I'm Reese Harnett. Those stories and more on Q News. Welcome to Q News. The High Point area is no stranger to great restaurants, and earlier this week, one of them was recognized nationally for its inviting atmosphere and, of course, great food. If you're speeding down Main Street of High Point, you might not notice Tom's Place, but when you see an America's Best Restaurants van parked outside, you probably should check it out. This Tuesday, the National Media and Marketing Roadshow, hosted by Greg Hudson, paid a visit to the local breakfast joint to tell their story.
At America's Best Restaurants, on top of trying great food all over this country, I get to tell great stories.
The family-oriented restaurant, which opened in 1987, was featured after a very happy customer sent in a nomination saying that owner Chris Giannopoulos was doing something right.
It's a blessing. That's all I can say. I mean, it was amazing. They called me and told me that I was going to be on the show, and it's been a shocker.
Giannopoulos bought the business from his parents in 2004, but he says it took more than just his effort to create one of America's best restaurants.
25 years for me of hard work, and all the employees that we have, I couldn't do it without them.
Tom's Place is open from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. every day, and the regular customers say the achievement was well-deserved. High Point's award-winning restaurants are only one aspect of what makes our city so special, though. Our reporter Riley Mannion found a way that the rest of High Point is getting their recognition. Riley?
That's right, Reese. The city of High Point has countless amounts of exciting places for members of the community to visit. And one woman has discovered a way to bring all of these places right into the palm of our hands. High Point Discovered started in 2016 with founder Christy Barber just taking photos of different places to go throughout High Point and posting them on her Instagram. Shortly after, it blew up. Now, creative director Hannah Ray says that their purpose is more than just to showcase businesses, but to tell their stories.
I have the tremendous privilege of getting to go on so many interviews, meeting these business owners, these philanthropists, these teachers and students and designers and artists. And the thing that I've really realized is that every person has a story and everybody has something they're passionate about. And it doesn't matter if that's cutting hair or painting or owning a dog grooming business or owning a distillery. Whatever they're passionate about, it comes through as so fascinating to the reader because it's what they were made to do, and they're taking those gifts that they were given and sharing them with the city. So hearing their stories and then reminding them that their story is valuable, that they have a story to tell, that empowers them to continue to grow their business, and it's just a beautiful cycle that makes the city better.
High Point Discovered started as an idea and has become one of the city's biggest ways to explore the community, from their social media to their magazine.
My sister-in-law shared like a post with me for I think Cohab Space, which is at High Point, and then I think I just followed the page, and then I'm often I work remotely, so I'm traveling, so it's kind of like my way to keep up with what's going on whenever I'm back in town.
We are an international city, an international community, and we feel that we are the right organization to build a bridge for a lot of the people that call High Point home. So whether that is really diving deep and building connections so that we can showcase what our different communities are doing in the city.
From restaurants to bars to coffee shops and everything in between, High Point Discovered serves as the perfect place for community members to find new places to go and new things to try. With many different goals in mind, all of the High Point Discovered team is focused on bringing community back to the city of High Point. Be sure to check out the High Point Discovered blog and follow their Instagram at High Point Discovered. From the community to inside the gates of the university, baseball season is in full swing. Cassandra Mishak inside details on the upcoming season and even spoke with some key players from the team. Tell us about it, Cassandra.
Yes, that's right, Ryan. The High Point University baseball team is swinging into their season with high expectations, and the team is just 24 hours away from their home opening weekend series. I was able to take a close look on their preseason and preparation for the 2023 season. The High Point University baseball team is preparing for its home opening weekend series starting on Friday, February 17th against Bryant University. Over the past month, the players have been splitting into two teams to scrimmage against each other. This season, there are over 20 new players that were recruited to the Panthers, consisting of both freshmen and junior college transfers. With all the new talent on the team, the Panthers were ranked third this year in the Big South preseason poll. Returning High Point pitchers Sean Duffy and Jack shared their thoughts and expectations for the season.
I'm really excited for the season. We got a good team this year. Practice has been going well so far. We're getting a lot better, learning a lot, and I'm just really excited because it's a really talented team, and I think this is a really good chance to be the first team here to win the Big South title.
The season coming up in a couple weeks, there's really high expectations for us. We all have been coming together really sound. We got a lot of really good trips upcoming, and we're very excited for it.
As I said, we've talked about it a long time.
The Panthers hosted a first pitch dinner and banquet this past Saturday to kickstart their 2023 season. Donors, families, friends, and staff members attended and donated to support the program. The Panthers head coach, Joey Hammond, shares his high hopes and feelings towards the start of the 2023 season.
We're super excited about this year. We got a great group of returning players with a mix of some young guys, and again, we've got high expectations. And the guys have come and showed up every single day. They do everything I ask of them, and so again, we feel really good about this group. This year we put a lot on their table, and they've responded so far. So our staff has done a phenomenal job. Super proud of our staff to prepare these guys. Our facilities are great. This university's been really good to us, and the rest is up to us, which is what you want. You just want it in your hands, and we're just really excited about it.
The Panthers home opener will begin tomorrow, February 17th at 4 p.m. Come out with your friends and support the team as they kick off their 2023 season. Coming up next on Q News, Emma Rawls shares how the High Point community came together last weekend to celebrate the anniversary of a local civil rights protest. Plus, Reese Allen has more on how students can prepare for internships, and Elise Kobe talks about how sometimes supporting a team goes beyond just watching them on TV. All of this when we come back on Q News.
Downtown High Point, a ceremony commemorating a historic event in the civil rights movement that not many people know about.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome.
People from around the High Point community gathered together on Saturday, February 11th to celebrate the 63rd anniversary of the High Point Woolworth sit-in. Families, clergymen, and government officials gathered together to celebrate and remember the strength of these 26 participants via a prayer vigil at the original site of the sit-ins. And events like these aren't only important to preserve the history of High Point, it's a way for people to connect with their heritage, too.
It means a lot. I mean, actually, it lets you know that what they did was worth it.
Along with the prayers from many familiar faces from the High Point community, Mary Lou Andrews-Blackney, a participant from the sit-in, shared advice.
And it's crazy. It is crazy. Anytime we have things like that happening in our city, it's bad, it's wrong, and you can't get right out of that, you know? be sure you're looking around. Always be watchful. And pray before you go out. And when you get back.
While maybe not as popular as other civil rights movements, the Woolsworth Sit-In is incredibly sacred to High Point.
The Woolworth Sit-In in High Point was the first high school student-led sit-in and is a reminder of the immense impact students can have, not just on the community, but on the country. On the topic of impacts, Q News' Reese Allen is going to talk a little bit about the impact an internship can have on students. Reese, what do you have for us?
Hi, Emma. Yes, the start of a new year brings resolutions, fresh starts, and for college students, it also means the start of internship application season. I spoke with the Office of Career and Professional Development to hear how students can prepare for internships and careers post-college. A survey by the National Association of Colleges and Employers states 91% of employers prefer candidates have work experience. Vice President of Career and Professional Development at High Point University, Dr. Doug Hall, speaks more on the value of internships.
Internships serve as great training ground for where students want to go. You're going to learn a lot of things about time management. You're going to learn what it's like to work on a team. Students are going to learn about the work itself. They'll learn about industry. They'll have probably access to information and data that you wouldn't typically see in a classroom.
Dr. Hall stresses that having these experiences is a, quote, nice try before you buy opportunity, end quote. Julia Newman, a senior at HPU, gives insight to the impact internships had on her.
So my main reasons for doing internships were just to get experience and learn what I might be interested in after college. I had 2 internships throughout my time at High Point, and my career after graduation is actually different from the 2 things I did. While I loved my 2 internships, they really helped me see what I wanted to go into a bit more and what I didn't want to go into when I graduated. So it's just a stepping stone to help you figure out what your forever career can be while you're in college.
Newman is already hired for a job post-grad with KPMG and shared part of her success was through taking advantage of the Office of Career and Professional Development early on, using resources like resume and cover letter creation, practice mock interviews, and events like these where students can network with over 90 employers looking to hire for internships and post-grad opportunities. On Tuesday, February 14th, the Office of Career and Professional Development held the Spring Career and Internship Expo, hosting over 90 employers. Students were able to build their network and had a chance to get professional headshots taken. Dr. Hall emphasizes that with the right steps, internships can leave a lasting impact.
And you'd be surprised, like if students do well within an internship space, employers are looking at that. They're saying, okay, you can be trusted with this work. You do so well, would love to hire you back for the following semester or summer, what have you. Or if it works out well, they're looking at you as potential full-time hire. So it's great, opportunity to really prove yourself.
Information on how to build your professional brand, you can go to highpoint.edu/career and internships. Next up, Elise Colby shares the mixed emotions of a team so close to victory.
The day after the Super Bowl, either an experience of joy and relief or a day over a hangover effect that is not alcohol related. What is it that makes these fans feel the way that they do?
2023 Super Bowl had fans charged with anxious energy as the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs battled for the title of Super Bowl 57 champions. With the event so large it divides the nation into teams, you can't help but wonder what makes fans so invested in their sports teams. Chiefs fan Brian Pedrizzo spoke on his opinion with the Super Bowl outcome.
It was a good game, well played. I think the right team won at the end, no matter what holding calls were called. But other than that, I think it was a good game.
Research from the Association of Psychological Science reports that fanatic behavior is linked to similarities between a fan's identification with the sports team and how people identify with their nationality, ethnicity, or even gender. Professor Nicholas Bazzelli discussed sports psychology and the correlation between fanatic behavior and a fan's environment.
A lot of what you'll find is a lot of sports fandom is really ingrained in the individual at a young age. So those could be variables such as geographic location that someone grew up, and if they grew up a lot of people who are fans of a specific team, you're kind of by default ingrained in that culture. It's also based on kind of like that family dynamic.
Although the Super Bowl might be over, fans are already preparing for next year's lineup.
Although Eagles Eagles fans may be disappointed by this Super Bowl, there's always another chance again next year. But fans don't have to wait until then. The NFL Draft is in April. That's all for Q News. I'm Elise Kobe. Next up, even more sports stories on Q Sports.